If you were to make a list of some of the most dominant players in the NBA, as a whole, obviously, pre-lockdown, there is no doubt that you would put Kawhi Leonard on that list. If for no other reason, then he is a consistent player who is clutch and has helped not one, but two teams get to the NBA Finals and then win them. Now, he's with the Los Angeles Clippers and is aiming to make it 3 titles in 3 cities. But how much do you know about the man himself? Allow us to show you 10 untold truths about Kawhi Leonard. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Number 10. He almost played 4 years in college. In the world of the NBA as it stands right now, most rookies that come to the NBA, or at the very least many of the highly anticipated rookies that come to the NBA, come to the draft after what is called one and done. What that means is that they played 1 year in college under the NCAA and they declared for the draft once they were done. This has been done by many over the years, for better or for worse. But with Kawhi, not so much. We'll dive into the college he went to later, but before he was drafted, he noted, "My family doesn't need the money right now. We're not starving, hungry, living poor. It will be nice to have a lot of money, but I think my family could hold out for 2 more years if I played through my senior year." Obviously, that didn't happen, but it could have, and that might have changed his career in many ways. Number 9. Almost played football over basketball. Leonard is cousins with Steve Johnson, a former NFL player who played 8 seasons with 3 different teams. Johnson retired from the NFL in 2015, which is an important thing to note because a sad twist of fate almost led Kawhi to having a football career instead of a basketball one. As a freshman in high school, Leonard missed basketball tryouts because his mother wasn't able to drive him to the gym. The coach had a strict no tryouts, no play rule, so Leonard ended up playing football his freshman year. However, Leonard quit after that season to focus on his basketball career. So clearly, he was meant to play basketball. But there were some close calls both then and during his early time in the NBA. Number 8. He was on the select team for the Olympics. Ever since the Dream Team, the Olympics are a big deal for NBA stars. But it's a little deeper than you might expect, because while big names like LeBRON, Curry, Durant, James Harden, and more get selected to the main team, there's also a select team that they practice against. The select team is the ones that the main players go up against in order to help them stay sharp and be further prepared for what's coming in the Olympics and other events. Despite having a slightly subpar rookie season, Kawhi was put on the select team because of his clear talent. This experience with the Olympic team would go on to help him later on, and thus make him the player he is today. Number 7. Tied to Magic. When Kawhi Leonard was on the San Antonio Spurs, he was dubbed one of the future players of the franchise due to the Spurs being stacked with legends. He was in the shadow of greatness in many respects, but with every single year he got better. Then, when the much-desired Spurs-Heat rematch in the NBA Finals happened, Kawhi went off. Despite being only 22 at the time, he got the Bill Russell Award, the Finals MVP, for his play in that series. That means he was the youngest player since Magic Johnson to win that award. It's always good to be tied to legends. Number 6. Living with mom. When you think about being in a top sports league, you no doubt feel that between the money they're making and the competency of the people, that they would live their own lives without certain ties, right? But as many will tell you, some rookies come into the league at just 19, and thus haven't lived in the real world yet, let alone the fast-paced one of the NBA. As such, when Kawhi Leonard was drafted to the Spurs at just 19, he didn't live alone. Rather, he lived with his mother. The idea was that he was 19 when he was drafted after his sophomore year at SDSU, and he wanted to ensure her baby has to worry about only playing basketball. He spent his first 3 years in the NBA living with his mother in a 2-story house so that everything could go smoothly for him. Ironically, this story is somewhat similar to another NBA player, Luka Doncic, who during his time in Europe had to move to Spain, and his mother lived with him while he got used to everything in the country. Number 5. Selected. You'd think that given his pedigree that Kawhi Leonard would have been one of the most sought-after players in going to college, but that didn't turn out to be the case. Leonard attended Martin Luther King High School in Riverside and won the 2009 California Mr. Basketball Award his senior year. Yet Leonard wasn't recruited by any Pac-10 schools. According to his coach, it was the media and scouts who felt that he wasn't that good and maybe had potential as a tweener player, but not much else. Kawhi took that to heart and worked his butt off, with the results now plain for all to see. He went to San Diego State University and made an impact there, especially in the eyes of one legendary former player and current announcer.
94 feet with UCLA's Lonzo Ball.
94 feet with the great Morgan Freeman.
94 feet with the great Alan Stein.
Number 4. Kawhi and Jay Bilas. Many college basketball analysts have favorites both in season and of all time. When it came to the one and only Jay Bilas, he noted that Kawhi is his favorite player of all time. While that may seem a little bit random, many people think it was the fact that Kawhi had a 7'3" wingspan, and Jay Bilas is known to love players with big wingspans. So it might be a little biased, but hey, everyone has a preference. Yet, you can also say that Jay clearly saw the talent of this player, and his analysis of him proved correct as his NBA career would later show. So whether he was focused on one thing or another, Bilas literally called it right. Number 3. Not a done deal. Not unlike his time in going to college, Kawhi getting drafted to the NBA was anything but a smooth ride, or an easy pick as you might suspect. Spurs coach Greg Popovich called the decision to trade for Kawhi on a draft night the toughest decision he had to make during his 20-plus seasons in San Antonio. The decision was difficult because the Spurs had to part ways with valued young guard George Hill in the deal with the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, it worked out in the long run, and Leonard finished 4th in Rookie of the Year voting and earned a spot in the 2012 All-Rookie First Team. And again, he helped lead Pop to his 5th title, so that decision did indeed pay off despite the rocky finish. Number 2. Bobbleheads. His Spurs career had some injuries that weighed him down, including the one that would lead him out of San Antonio. But one of the most hilarious moments was when he came back from a hand injury and the AT&T Center decided to give out bobbleheads of him to celebrate. A nice gesture, right? Except Kawhi didn't think it looked like him at all. "It's alright, it doesn't look like me. I just take it for what it is," he said. Make it match his looks. It's common courtesy. Number 1. His Raptors career. It's fair to say that people know about what Kawhi did with the Raptors. I mean, he came in, won a title, and left. But what gets lost in the results, if you will, is that Kawhi had a year that few have ever done, let alone make an impact that took a team to victory in the NBA Finals. And thus, it's important to chronicle this journey in its own way. It all started when things fell apart in San Antonio, where Leonard wasn't just a star, he was the Finals MVP of their 5th title reign. Kawhi got injured. Then the doctors apparently mistreated him and he wasn't happy there anymore. So he sat on the bench and wanted to be traded. Nothing would sway him. The Spurs had the ability to hold on to him for another year, but they decided to make a trade and try and get some value on him. Yet any team that got him would literally only have him for a single year before he could go free agent, which means he was a risk in all measures. But the Raptors? They didn't care. They had been idling in the middle of the East for too long. They wanted the glory and the title, and they felt Kawhi would get it for them. And they were right. Granted, they had to get some other pieces, including Marc Gasol to seal the deal, but Kawhi was the centerpiece. That centerpiece did exactly what they hoped he would do. He took them to the finals, and they beat the reigning champs, the Golden State Warriors, to win the title. And yeah, he left afterwards, but it wasn't a bitter thing. He did his job, and he left for another pasture. Most wouldn't do that. So no matter what happens in LA, he knows that he did what no one thought possible. He gave the Raptors an NBA title. So what did you think? What did you think of this look at Kawhi Leonard and the various things he's done on and off the court in order to make himself a legend in his own time? Do you think that he'll be able to complete his goal of getting another title in another city? What do you think his status will be when his career is over? Are you going to be rooting for him in the upcoming NBA playoffs? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.